Welcome. My name is Angela McCauley, and I am the regional leader for the state of Florida with the Alzheimer's Association. I want to welcome you to the 2022 Alzheimer's Association Purple Lighting Ceremony. Thank you to all who are joining us here in Tallahassee and to all of those watching us across the state streaming live. As you can see behind me, and next to me, we have many of our elected officials standing in solidarity for this event. We appreciate all of your support. Thank you all for being here. We have an exciting program for you this evening. As we light the historic Capitol Purple to raise awareness for the 580,000 Floridians living with Alzheimer's disease and their caregivers. You'll hear this evening from many individuals who are making a difference and moving the needle forward for Alzheimer's policy. With Florida having the second highest prevalence in the country, it is imperative that Florida has policy that helps support those living with the disease and their families, strengthens our current infrastructure for the rising cases projected in the next few years. The Alzheimer's Association 2022 platform works to enhance dementia training standards and long-term care, expand Alzheimer's awareness for healthcare providers, and increase funding for our programs that provide critical support and enhance groundbreaking research. With that, again, I thank you for being here, and I am really excited and honored to introduce our first speaker, Lieutenant Governor Jeanette Nunes.
Well, good evening. It's such a pleasure to be here with the legislative leaders that are active on this issue. And I can tell you, it is so exciting to see that we will be lighting our Old Capitol Purple in honor of Alzheimer's awareness and in really bringing light, not just light, but purple light to this very important cause. And so I will tell you, as you heard the statistics, we would be hard pressed to find someone that is not directly or indirectly impacted by Alzheimer's. I lived it through the eyes of my mother-in-law, who cared for her two aging parents. Her mother was afflicted with Alzheimer's for many years, and I saw the burden and the toll it took on her. And on many of these stories that I've been able to witness firsthand, I will tell you, the state of Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis and myself, we stand with you. We care deeply, not only about the individuals afflicted, but also those that are burdened by caring for these individuals. And so as we look to prioritize Alzheimer's, as we look to ensure that it is properly funded, we are proud that Alzheimer's and related dementias are included as part of our statewide health improvement plan, as part of our strategic plan as we look forward to the future. How can we additionally provide funds? How can we continue to drive policy to be able to once and for all cure this disease? And so I want to commend the Alzheimer's Association for their hard work. I also want to commend the Department of Elder Affairs. We have the unique privilege of working together on many issues, and so I thank them from the state's perspective of all they do to help those that are afflicted and those that are coping. And so again, we recognize that this requires a unified effort. Doctors, support agencies, state agencies, and all of those that are working to find a cure, to provide resources and services, and to make sure that together we can end Alzheimer's once and for all. So as we light the Capitol Purple, I encourage each and every one of you to be thankful for what we have here in this great state of Florida, thankful that we have a governor that recognizes the importance of tackling this once and for all. So it is my privilege to stand here with you all. I thank you for your service. I thank you for your hard work. And I will encourage each and every one of us to continue this important fight. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much, Lieutenant Governor Nunes. We appreciate you being with us tonight. Our next speaker is no stranger to the Alzheimer's Association. Before her appointment to the Department of Elder Affairs, she served as our Vice President of Public Policy. She's a true advocate for our seniors and those living with dementia. We're fortunate to have her leading us in this role. Here is the Secretary of the Department of Elder Affairs, Michelle Branham.
I'm looking at all of you and I'm hoping that I don't cry. It is so such an honor to be out here with you tonight. This is my 9th year, I think, lighting the Capitol purple. So I just want to say good evening to you. Welcome to Tallahassee. I'd say my name is Michelle Branham, but I'm hoping most of you know me already. And I currently have the honor of serving, as Angela said, as the Secretary of the Department of Elder Affairs. Thank you so much for inviting me here tonight. I'm so incredibly honored and humbled to be joining you for over a decade-long tradition that is so near and dear to my heart. We've learned so much together, all of us, haven't we? And in many ways, working with you has prepared me for my new role that I have today. In my 10 years of work with the Alzheimer's Association and you, I saw firsthand the courage and conviction you gave to help secure a better future for Florida, even when you knew that you may not bear witness to that future yourselves. My work with most of you focused on a very vulnerable part of our population here in Florida. It focused on your families, and also families all over Florida. It also focused on your great strength. Together we have seen memories, dreams, and self-awareness erased, but we've also seen the selfless strength and love that it takes for advocates like yourselves to offer care and support to loved ones who may not even remember you anymore. Watching and working with you, brave individuals and families, profoundly changed me, and it prepared my heart to continue serving in the way I am today. I'm so grateful to Governor DeSantis for the opportunity to serve Florida as the Secretary of the Department of Elder Affairs. Caring for seniors in one way or another has been my life's work and passion, but the passion, again, was fostered through the work that we have done together and the tremendous commitment and support from Governor DeSantis and his administration. Since the very beginning of his administration, Governor DeSantis has been unwavering in his commitment to putting Florida seniors first. His tremendous investments to support Alzheimer's disease research and his Freedom First budget ensures that Florida will continue the most direct path to a brighter future. Governor DeSantis continues to champion support services to prevent caregiver burnout and fatigue, allowing frail seniors to age in place in their homes with their families. And as I see it, we all face this process of aging together, don't we? And in this journey that we all share, we know that aging well is a gift that we can give ourselves, our families, and our communities. As Secretary of Elder Affairs, I want to help shape the culture of what aging looks like in Florida. I want our great state to lead the nation in providing services, education, and resource so we can live full, engaged, and purposeful lives and age without fear, isolation, or hopelessness. I want every Floridian to feel valued throughout their entire life, and I have every confidence that we will do this together. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm humbled to be here before you.
Thank you so much, Secretary Branham. I love to call you that. Thank you for your remarks and for your passion and dedication to our most vulnerable in Florida. Next, I'm really delighted to be able to introduce Michelle Hall. Michelle is an amazing woman who, using her story and her voice, is making an incredible impact. Please welcome Michelle Hall and her husband, Doug.
Does anybody else besides me have the disease?
You do?
Yay! You want to come stand up here with me? That'd be great. A little closer to the mic. Closer to the mic. There you go. My name is Michelle Hall. I'm 54 years old, and I live with my family in Bradenton, Florida. A year ago, I was diagnosed with younger onset Alzheimer's disease. For 10 years, I served as general counsel for the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. I loved my job, and I loved the people I worked with. However, the last year there, I began to notice changes. In meetings, I was struggling to come up with my words. I blurted out words that weren't pertinent to the conversation, and I had to ask over and over for things to be repeated. Eventually,
I declined to attend meetings whenever possible. A few weeks later, I hurt my hand and I needed to see a doctor. I was asked to complete new patient forms, and I realized that I couldn't fill out any of the paperwork. I tried to spell the word cup, and I couldn't do it. I tried again. I still could not come up with the word cup. I then saw a lot of medical folks. I had CTs, MRIs, and PET scans. I was told many times that my confusion was related to stress and that I shouldn't worry about it. One neurologist even said my scan looked great. You should just go home and have a Merry Christmas. This is one reason I advocate for more awareness and education of Alzheimer's disease for healthcare providers. No one should go through what I had to go through. Dissatisfied with what my husband and I were being told, we decided to take a trip down to the Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville. A neurologist there ruled out several possibilities for my cognitive impairment. He confirmed the Alzheimer's diagnosis with a lumbar puncture. The spinal fluid revealed the presence of a protein associated with the disease. I was stunned and unprepared for such a terrible diagnosis. I wanted to hide for a while. I wanted to run away, and I even thought about taking my own life. After the initial shock of the diagnosis wore off, I knew that I had to discuss this with my 3 adult children. I needed to assure them that I would be in their lives for as long as possible, and I would do everything I could to slow down the progression of this disease. I wanted to have as much time with them as I could get. I still enjoy spending lots of time with my family and my dog and my husband. I should have wrote that down so I wouldn't forget it. However, some everyday tasks have become difficult for me, like writing and working with numbers, ordering from Amazon, following a recipe, or getting money from an ATM. These are all things that I used to be able to do and can't do now. Soon, I will not be able to drive. This scares me because it's one more way that I will lose my autonomy. Now I have become an advocate for the Alzheimer's Association. This includes participating in group calls, working with the media to help raise awareness of the disease, and speaking to lawmakers about the importance of additional funding. This includes providing more education to the physician community regarding the early signs of Alzheimer's disease. I received my first dose of Aduhelm last year. This drug was recently and controversially approved by the FDA. It is the only FDA-approved drug on the market and is designed to slow the progression of younger onset Alzheimer's. My infusions will continue monthly, and I will be closely monitored for any side effects. There are several other companies that are working to find a similar drug. I read all that I can about the disease, trying to absorb what each stage means to me. There are times I wish I didn't know these facts. I know that time is not on my side and that I have to find a balance between acceptance and hope. Thank you for allowing me to share my story with you. I will continue to use my voice to raise awareness and support much needed legislation. Thank you.
Wow, Michelle, you are truly an inspiration We appreciate so much what you and Doug do for the organization. Tonight, I just wanted to take a minute to share our 2022 legislative priorities with you. We're working on several key priorities to help ensure Florida is a dementia-capable state. The Florida Alzheimer's Disease and Dementia Training Education Act is critical legislation that will provide minimum dementia training standards for all long-term care providers. A majority of individuals living with dementia will utilize long-term care. Caring for our loved ones with Alzheimer's or other forms of dementia is oftentimes incredibly challenging, and we need to equip our direct care staff so that they are confident and capable of handling difficult situations and are able to provide quality care. This legislation will provide peace of mind to caregivers when making the difficult decision to utilize long-term care. We're grateful to Representative Cord Bird and Senator Dennis Baxley for sponsoring this legislation. Next, I'd like to invite another honored guest to talk with us about our READY Act. I am delighted to introduce Representative Michelle Saltzman.
Thank you. First, I'd like to just take a moment and thank Michelle for her bravery. I'm not sure where there she, oh, you put on a blue. I love it. And there are a lot of Michelles for her bravery in sharing her story today. I appreciate you guys for inviting me here to speak with you. It is certainly an honor to be here with fellow Alzheimer's advocates in Tallahassee and all of you watching across the state. Alzheimer's is a cause that is deeply personal to me. I have lost several members of my own family to this disease. My most recent loss was just a few short weeks ago when my grandfather passed. I just think before I talk about the legislation, I think that it's important that we acknowledge what's happening here today and what happens every day with each of you. There's a lot of smiles and laughter and clapping and cheer right now in the crowd, and I'm sure at home with the folks watching and my fellow legislators behind me. It's hard to articulate the emotions that you feel and you experience when you're with someone who does have dementia and Alzheimer's. And when you live through that, when you experience that, it changes you as a human being. And being able to see that the community, the legislature, the state, that it acknowledges this disease, that it acknowledges the hardships, it acknowledges the pain and the suffering that each of you, each of us have felt as we deal with this process, as we go through the different stages of Alzheimer's with our family members. Some of my earliest childhood memories are of me and my mother and my grandma getting in the car every Sunday and driving out to the home where we would go sing to my great-grandmother and all of the folks there in the memory care unit. My grandma would play on the piano and my mom and I would sing. Sometimes my grandfather would join us and play the spoons. It was, I think it was a moment or moments in my life that really created that empathy that I have for others, and it really reminded me the importance and the value of family. And so I just want to acknowledge each of you here, each of you. We all play a part in this, and we all have experienced the loss and the pain. And for that, I want you to know we see you and we hear you, and there are prayers going all the time for your strength and your guidance and your wisdom, and for ours in the legislature, as we're the ones that stroke the pen and sign the budget and create the law. So thank you for what you do. Your advocacy matters. Michelle, yours matters too. I love how we have three Michelles. Michelle cubed. I think we should totally take that. And in acknowledging your secretary here, I would like to just say the sponsorship of HB 475, the READY Act, which stands for Ramping Up Education of Alzheimer's and Dementia for You. How fun is that? We can go out and we can say, I'm here to talk about the Ready Act, or we're going to go push the Ready Act. We're going to lay out these pamphlets and all of this information because of the Ready Act. Being in marketing for almost 20 years, I know the importance of being able to say something really fast. And being here taking meetings all day, boy, if you take up you lost me after 5 sentences, so you better have it. So it's super easy to remember. The Ready Act is an awareness campaign generated by the Department of Health for healthcare providers. The legislation will allow the Department of Health, through existing public health and community outreach, to include information about brain health and early detection and diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease and related dementias. The awareness information may include information on the importance of early detection and diagnosis, annual Medicare wellness exams, sorry, my lips are frozen, annual Medicare wellness exams, the CPT code for cognitive impairment care planning, and other things. Basically, it says we understand the importance of educating the community, of empowering the physicians and the nurses and the healthcare providers with information to share. Don't be afraid to start the conversation with folks like Michelle, who come in and say something is wrong. Something's not right. And not everybody is as determined and motivated as this family. There are many that don't even understand what's going on for many years. They lose their family members, they lose their homes, they lose their jobs. And if we can just get it at the beginning, if we can educate one person and save one family, then we've done something meaningful. So with that, I thank you all for your advocacy and your determination. Just know that you have many voices here in Tallahassee that are fighting for you. We love you and we appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Saltzman. We appreciate you sharing your personal story and why this is so important to you. Our final speaker tonight has been a champion of the Alzheimer's cause for over a decade. Because of his leadership, the Brain Bus program was able to go statewide. Our state has a dementia director position, and we have strengthened the state's Alzheimer's Disease Advocacy Council, or Advisory Council. Words cannot express how grateful we are for Representative Plakin and everything that he has done for those facing this disease here in the state of Florida. Representative Plakin.
Thank you. And before I start my remarks, I also want to commend Michelle for your bravery in trying to take a very difficult situation and turn it good to help others. But I also want to commend Mr. Paul. And I can tell, and having walked through this journey, having a loving and supportive spouse is going to be critical. And I think I know it when I see one. So thank you for being here. Thank you again for allowing me to speak again. It's an honor to be here with everybody, the Alzheimer's Association and my colleagues and the people across the state. Alzheimer's is deeply personal to me. When I came back to the house in 2014, I just found out my then 53-year-old wife and mother to our 6 kids was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. She was one of the most active spouses up here, and most of the members knew her and the senators. She would sit in the gallery in the same spot, and up on the left, and oftentimes in prayer for the members below on the floor and some of the policies that we were debating. She was taken from us way too early at age 57 on July 23rd, 2018, as a result of this terrible disease. What we found out, though, is on the final report that she also had Lewy body dementia. So we never thought that possible, so we learned that in the final report. I used to think Alzheimer's was like many of the other diseases, but you just forgot stuff, But many of you know, with family members and loved ones, it's so much more than that. I didn't know anything about seizures. We had 2 kinds, 2 different short-term ones, and also grand mal. We had extreme agitation. I had to take care of all of her personal needs. And it was a very, very difficult walk. I just had no idea that it involved all this until I started getting involved with the Alzheimer's Association. Early in her diagnosis, knowing that, with me being in the public eye, we made a decision to share our story in the hopes that it would help others. And for those of you that may have known Susie, she wouldn't have it any other way, for the opportunity, like Romans 8:28 says, that God can take a bad situation and make a lot of good out of it. In my legislative career, and in honor of Susie over the years, I've been honored to sponsor Alzheimer's-related legislation and funding initiatives. In 2017, with the support of help of you and my colleagues, I sponsored legislation which passed, which authorized Florida's 16th Memory Disorder Clinic. In 2018, with your help, I sponsored and passed legislation which formed our 17th Memory Disorder Clinic in South Florida. In 2019, with your help and with my partner, Representative Matt Wilhite, who's here, we sponsored and passed legislation that enhanced and empowered the Alzheimer's Disease Advisory Committee. The committee now submits an annual report to the governor and the legislature, and also is required to update the state plan every 3 years. In 2020, with your help and my partner, Representative Matt Wilhite, I sponsored and passed legislation to establish a dementia director position in state government. Florida is now one of a few states that have a position like this, which brings greater prominence in state government to the cause. Over the last few years, with your help and my colleagues, we've been able to pass funding for the Brain Bus. It's a mobile and virtual outreach mobile, if you will, that travels around the state and provides outreach, education, and resources specifically to underserved and rural areas. With your help and my colleagues, we've been able to expand the program to about 300 stops every year. I've now served 12 years as a member of the Florida House of Representatives. This is my last year. I've been at this beautiful lighting ceremony, I believe, for every one of the 8 years that came back to the House. This will be the last time I will be addressing you as member of the House, but I plan on being back. By the way, many of you know, I did find love again when I married Rachel in 2019. Many of you have met her. She's been to each event since we started dating a few years ago. And she couldn't be here this week because she had to be home, because she had to be up in the Panhandle last week, putting a very, very close relative of hers in an assisted living facility up in the Panhandle. So this is going to be, she is running as my successor. So I know that this is going to be an important and even emotional cause to her, God willing, should she be elected. As my last act of this event as a member of the House, it's my honor to present a very special award tonight. At Susie's Celebration of Life, with about 600 people in attendance of every part of the political spectrum you could possibly imagine, and because of the profound impact her life has and is now still making, the Alzheimer's Association created the Suzanne R. Plakin Humanitarian Award for Leadership in Alzheimer's Advocacy. Tonight, it's my honor to present the award to Dr. Rosemary Laird. She's been an incredible friend and advocate for the Alzheimer's community. Dr. Laird is a board-certified geriatrician who has served as a board member of the Alzheimer's Association and also served as the chair of the Alzheimer's Disease Advisory Committee appointed by the governor. She's a true advocate in the fight and a leader within the field of Alzheimer's disease. Many of you may know her as a distinguished leader in our movement, but I met her in a very different role. After the diagnosis at Mayo Clinic, we brought her back home for treatment at Advent Health, and she was Susie's treating doctor. The grace and dignity and compassion that she showed to our family is something I'll never forget. And she's now off in her own venture now. She couldn't be here tonight, but it's my honor to present this to Dr. Laird, and she certainly deserves it. She'll be the fourth recipient. Susie was the first at her celebration of life. Governor DeSantis, because of all the things this governor has promised to do and done, was the next recipient. The Bishop of Prudhomme, the last Secretary of Affairs, was the third recipient. And I got to share this about Secretary Prudhomme. 3 days into it, he comes to my office, was aware of our story, and the governor was too, and says, we want to make Alzheimer's the top priority of the Elder Affairs Agency. And They have absolutely done that, and that's why he got the award that year. And I'll tell you, there's a highlight to that. In doing that, Secretary Prudhomme resigned. He made the Alzheimer's policy director the new Secretary of Elder Affairs of all the diverse issues they handled. I was so happy when I heard that Michelle had been appointed to that position by the governor. So since Dr. Laird could not be here, I'll be taking the award tonight and delivering it to her. She's from Central Florida as well. So thank you all for being here, and God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Representative Clayton, and congratulations to Dr. Laird. Before we continue, I just wanted to take a minute to thank some of our other representatives who are here to join us tonight, Representatives Robinson and Magert, and Representative Wilhite. We appreciate you all being here. And I want to one more time say thank you to all of today's inspiring speakers, bill sponsors, and advocates. You are making Florida a better place for everyone impacted by Alzheimer's and other dementias. I want to thank those of you who are here braving the chilly temperatures in person, and thank all of you who are watching us live online. I hope that each of us keeps the passion we feel right now for this cause burning. Keep that flame alight and let it guide us to do our very best for every Floridian. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Have a good night.